Welcome back, guys. This is going to be a new video here in my little HTML free course here on YouTube. Today we're going to be talking about HTML entities. Okay, so what entities are is they're like little codes. Let me scroll down and show you. They're little codes that you can write that actually will come out to be characters in HTML. And the reason that we want to use entities instead of using some of the symbols, such as like the and symbol or in this case, the greater than and less than symbol directly in our HTML code is because web browsers on the back end of their little code, they could actually mistake this for an opening or closing tag of an HTML element, and that might just mess up your code or cause weird bugs that you don't understand why they're happening, and that's when you should be using an entity code instead of the actual symbol itself. So for example, if you want to make the greater than or less than symbol, you should actually type out this entity code, the ampersand LT or ampersand GT for greater than, less than. You can also use these entity code numbers, which I've never used. I always just use the names. I just type out this style and it works. Another one, so for the ampersand, instead of typing the ampersand out, instead of holding in Shift and 7 on your keyboard for the ampersand, you should actually write out the ampersand symbol AMP, and then in your code on the page it'll show up as an ampersand like that. You'll use them a lot for when you build headers to get like this copyright symbol. That's an entity and it's and copy. And then same thing if you ever want to put like the trademark, if you're doing a website for a company and they have a trademarked whatever logo or something and you want to add that little R reserved thing, that's and reg. And then if you want to add, if you're pricing stuff in euros or yen, pounds, or cents on like a e-commerce website, you use the entity codes and cent and pound and yen and euro. So that's what entities are. And that's why we want to use them. We don't want to confuse browsers on the back end. I don't think that so much today with modern browsers. I'm pretty sure that you won't have too much problems if you don't use entity codes, but it's still best practice to always use them, especially if you're making a project that's going to be potentially making a client or a company money. You don't want any random bugs happening because you didn't use the proper entity code, right? So let's go ahead. I'm going to get rid of this and we'll open up our text editor and our HTML lessons and we'll write some of these out and see how they work here. So I'm going to go into my HTML course. This is going to be lesson 15. So I'm going to say 15-entities.html. Entities. Is that how you spell entities? I think so. Oops. Put com HTML. Man, I cannot get used to that. I got this new mechanical keyboard and I just cannot get used to it. Alright, there we go. Entities.html. And then we'll get our boilerplate code by hitting Shift !tab. And we'll type out HTML entities in the title of our page. And there we go. So let's go ahead and we'll start out. We'll use a couple of, we'll use the one that I most often use, and that's the copyright one. So we can pretend, let's like make a footer. We'll put like a footer tag, and then we can write pretend like we're making a website. So we can put, we'll put and copy, and then we'll put like 2023. Some website, and then let's go ahead and launch this page with Live Server and Visual Studio Code, and then there you go. So that's how you can make that. Usually websites have like copyright a year and like the name of the website, or sometimes it's in a different order, but you see that's how it works though. That's as simple as it is to make an entity. Some other ones we can do here. We'll do the trademark one. So we can see the trademark one is and reg. So we can pretend like we're making like a website for Coca-Cola or something. And then we'll put like and reg for the trademark. Coca-Cola R. Is it the R go there in the beginning? I don't even know, but all right. So that's how you do copyright. That's how you do trademark. And again, guys, you're not going to remember this stuff. This is just to know that entities are a thing, and when you need to do copyright in the future or a trademark symbol, just type it into Google, say how to do it, or go back to your code. Hopefully you're following along with me and just look how we did it. You're not going to remember all this stuff, but that's okay. So let's go above this footer, and we can pretend like we're doing a math problem. So we can say is 10, and then we'll use the less than code. So we'll say, looks like it's an LT is 10 less than 5 question mark. There it is. There's the code. So that an LT did the less than. And then let's copy this. Same thing. Except we'll say the greater than code, which is and GT. Okay. So that's what you'd want to do instead of actually typing out that. Okay. Let's do an ampersand because that's a very common one. So let's put another paragraph and just put cookies. And then we'll do an ampersand, which is an amp cream, cookies and cream. There you go. And then there's ones that are pretty popular for if you're going to make an e-commerce site. It can be the product costs 20, let's say, pounds, English pounds. And that's simple. That's just the ampersand pound. There you go. I got 20 pounds. And then we can do, say, 20 yen. I think, what is yen? Is that Japanese? I don't even know. So that's yen. So, yeah, guys, those are the most common ones. Honestly, the only two you're only going to use for entities you'll probably use an ampersand symbol, which you should do it that way. The an amp, which is this thing up here instead of typing it out on your keyboard. And then you'll be using, if you ever make a footer from scratch, you'll definitely be using the copyright logo or the trademark thing too. So yeah, just know that there's HTML entities out there. You should use those as best practice. And if you forget them, go back to this lesson and look at it, or just type it into Google to remember what you have to type out to access them. Okay. All right. Thank you for watching.